of Vesuvius Town Council, Monday, February the 24th, 6:30 p.m. in Council Chambers. The first item would be the introduction of any late items or changes to the agenda. I don't believe there are any. I'd just like to add something to the agenda, please. When we look at under Area C, business, and business 1 is the financial plan and the 5-year financial plan, second and third readings, followed by the public consultation question and answers. It's not quite so. It's listed like that because Director Zackel is going to read the overview of the budget into the meeting. Then we will be going to the public consultation process, and of course the second and third readings would only take place if there were no concerns of council. So it's sort of into the budget and that. I mean, it's presented the way it I guess it had to be, but it's a little confusing looking that we were doing second and third first when in effect we're not. So hearing nothing further, I'll refer this to Director Zackel to give the budget overview and the 5-year financial plan.
Thank you, Mayor Wells. So before Council is the 2014 to 2018 financial plan. Section 165 of the Community Charter requires municipalities to prepare a financial plan for a period of 5 years, which is adopted annually by bylaw. The Charter also requires Council to undertake a process of public consultation regarding the proposed financial plan before it's adopted. At a special open meeting of Council on February 11th, 2014, Council reviewed the budget information and provided direction to staff. The information in the financial plan reflects those directions as attached. Financial Plan Bylaw number 1304-2014 received first reading at the regular open meeting of Council on February 17th. The Financial Plan Requirements. Financial Plan must be adopted by bylaw at any time before the annual property tax bylaw is adopted. Section 197(1) requires that Council must adopt the annual property tax bylaw before May 15th. A financial plan must set out proposed expenditures by the municipality, proposed revenue sources, and proposed transfers between funds. The Act requires certain particulars must be included, however, the amount of detail is a matter for local determination. The financial plan must not plan for a deficit. Total proposed revenue sources plus transfers from other funds must not be exceeded by the total proposed expenditures and transfers to other funds. Public consultation requirements. Section 166 of the Community Charter requires Council to undertake a process of public consultation regarding a proposed financial plan before it's adopted. The Act does not specify the format of public consultation or process, and it may be varied at Council's discretion to suit the local community. Council requested that a public input session be held prior to Council giving the financial plan bylaw second and third readings. Budget assumptions. Ensure service levels in all operations and facilities are cost-effective and meeting expectations of residents and visitors. Complete priority projects identified by Council and all department directors. Identify sufficient contingency to respond to unforeseen expenditures. Adjust capital expenditures to maintain current service levels. Maintain property tax policy of increase to cost of living as directed by current financial plan objectives and policies. Continue contributing to a police reserve fund to lessen the impact when the town goes over 5,000 population. The 2014 budget and significant operating capital changes. Under operating environmental change, CPI Consumer Price Index for Vancouver increased by 0.2%. TCPI Transportation Consumer Price Index increased by 1.4%. Non-market change, new construction, new tax dollars, 10,400. QP wages increased by 2%. Exempt salaries are estimated at 2% for 2014. Some highlighted changes: 1.75% increase to property taxes. This is an increase of $41,350 in tax-based revenue. 1.15% of this is being allocated to fund capital projects, so additional $27,280. 0.6% is to offset the net increase in operating costs, which is $19,260. Garbage and recycling fees are to increase by $3 to $122 for 2014. This increase is to account for the TCPI increase to the garbage and recycling collection contract and tipping fee increases in 2014. Tipping fees to be increased for the town of Oswego sanitary landfill in 2014 from $72 per ton to $82 per ton. Lower than expected revenues due to increased recycling opportunities and community support to recycling is the main factor for the increase. Sewer rates to increase by $3.35 annually for single-family residents. The annual cost to single-family residents will increase to $226.48, which is a 1.5% increase to the town, and to $319.48, which is a 1.06% increase to Area A. This is an increase in user fees of revenue of $17,400. Water rates to increase by $10 annually for a single-family residence, which will bring the rates for a town resident to $307 for a single-family resident and $356 for a water district resident. Significant operating expenditure increases and decreases. Increase of $6,500 for civic building caretaker. This is based on the latest contract that was awarded. An increase of $8,150 for data processing. Insurance is increased by $6,500, which includes liability insurance, which went up by $4,100, building $700, and in vehicles $1,700. Under labor, negotiator that would be hired between 2014-15, $4,000 is budgeted for 2014. Elections in 2014, including a referendum, $18,000. Destination Oswego is taking over economic development under the contract with the town, $88,000. Under grants, increasing by $8,700, and this is $4,700 due to the increased transit costs, and $4,000 towards new grants for environmental projects. Fire department operating budget, including transfers to reserve, increasing by 0.45%. Community development, this budget went down by $85,100 in 2014, as the economic development component is being awarded with or contracted with Destination Oswego. Development services, this budget went down by $36,100, mostly due to the reduction of one staff member in the department. Landfill budget went up by $31,600 in 2014. The main reason for the increase is due to a new contracted landfill attendant to assist with MMBC recycling education and source separation at the Oswego sanitary landfill, and increases in contracts with the CPI and TCPI. Community services, other expenses decreasing by $24,000, mainly due to the restructuring of adult programs. Parks, budget went up by $30,650. A full-time seasonal parks worker is being added at amount of $34,600. Resort municipality projects, this fund has been approved to 2016. General debt, this budget went up by $15,800 in 2014 to account for the new debt charges as approved by the electors in 2012 for the Cottonwood Road project. General operating expenditures, less transfers to other governments, transfers to reserves, resort municipality contingencies, and capital expenditures has increased by $24,470 to $4,667,010 for 2014. This is a 0.53% increase. Sewer operating expenditures, less transfers to reserves, contingencies, and capital expenditures has decreased by $22,140 to $1,130,565 for 2014. This is a 1.92% decrease. Water operating expenditures, less transfers to reserves, contingencies, and capital expenditures has increased by $53,287 to $1,533,115 for 2014, and this is a 3.6% increase. Transfer to reserves, general fund. We're transferring $23,200 to our CMP reserve, $11,500 into our marina reserve, $24,000 into fire department equipment. Under the water fund, water capital reserves, we're transferring $174,585. Water pump and motor replacement, $20,000. Reservoir cleaning, $10,000. Leak detection, line cleaning, $20,000. Contingency allowances. In our general fund, we have $50,000. Sewer fund, $30,000. Water fund, $20,000. Funds available for capital expenditures. General operating, $549,305. This is up from 2013, which was $451, or $451,385. Sewer operating, $448,135, and this is up from $419,995 in 2013. And water operating, $497,585, up from $493,272 in 2013. Our 2014 capital projects that we have in our 5-year financial plan, and I'll read them out. There's a fair list here. We got parkland acquisitions. We got DCC bylaw update, community services master plan, Gyro Park pier study, fire hall communication plan, Kinsman Park redevelopment plan, computer equipment, vault upgrades, furniture and equipment, 74th and 92nd Avenue detailed design, Spartan Drive turnaround, roads crack sealing, sidewalk on Jubilee, marina accessibility upgrades, man bucket for the crane truck, power tailgate, davit arm hoist, Splash Park Phase 2, Splash Park Jack Shaw washrooms, dog park upgrades, stage washrooms, West Bench ball diamond upgrades, BMX track upgrades, fitness equipment padding for gym walls, gym storage, women's shower upgrades at the Sonora, Upper Cottonwood Park planning, Pioneer washroom upgrades, Splash Park and surrounding area improvements, Gyro Park multi-purpose plaza, other waterfront landscaping projects, marina boat launch extensions, fire hall design plans and construction drawings, and this project is subject to a successful referendum, Desert Park building improvements, Public Works lighting upgrades, 36th Avenue and Bayview Crescent stormwater treatment, Bayview Phase 2 to Campo Marina stormwater treatment, weather station relocation, Spartan Drive streetlight upgrades, landfill MMBC recycling improvements, landfill video upgrades, fire department equipment, sewer capacity study, Desert Park reclaimed water irrigation system expansion. This project decision has been deferred until the sewer capacity study is completed. Reclaimed water expansion to the airport, Phase 1 to go to the high school. Golf course secondary supply. Main lift force main upgrading finalization. Odor control for the Northwest Sector sewer. Water metering strategy. Well 1 assessment. Well 1 and 8 water treatment plant design. Station 9 pump and motor replacement. 340 booster pump and motor preventative maintenance. 402 booster station upgrade. Wells 3, 4, and 5 SCADA upgrades, well 6 control panel, reservoir mixer, and reservoir cleaning. The cost to an average single-family residence. For property taxes, they'll see an increase of $4.29. General debt, an increase of $3.90. Garbage and recycling, an increase of $3. Sewer, an increase of $3.35. And water, an increase of $10. For a grand total of a $24.54 increase.
Mr. Zackel, I hope I don't throw the cadence off on your delivery here. On that average single-family residence, could we have the assessed value of that so people can pull their tax assessment notice and see sort of where they sit?
$324,000.
$324,000
Yep.
would be the average single-family residence assessment.
That's correct.
Thank you very much.
So implications, community. A significant amount of capital projects are planned for 2014 that will enhance the community and improve the infrastructure in the town and rural service areas. Organizational, a reduction of 1 full-time position in planning and development services, and an addition to 1 full-time seasonal parks worker were added. Budget, user fees for garbage collection, water and sewer have increased to combined $16.35 for a single-family residence. 1.75% increase to property taxes after new construction dollars was also added. Sustainability, working to ensure maintaining levels of service for the community and financial sustainability for the town. So I'll stop there and pass it back to you, Mayor Wells.
Okay. Thank you very much, and a great report. And obviously, this is the size of the document that we're dealing with here. So it's been a lot of work. At this point, I'd like to just point out that besides full council and the 2 water councillors, We have our directors here. So, of course, that was Director Zackel, Financial. We have our Community Planning, Director Cunningham, Director Doucette. We have Terry Underwood, who provides the engineering services for the town. And we have Fire Chief Rick Jones is here. So we really have brought forward, the only director missing would be Director Davis from the Community Services in Sonora Center. You'd probably know from there. And he's ill, and we have, Director Jeanette Van Vienen, Corporate Services. So we have everybody here in the hope that we're going to be absolutely able to answer any questions coming from the public and coming from the floor. So it's really good for these people to come out as we present the budget tonight. Having said all that, I guess the next part would be the public input, and I'm going to ask Desert Live to come forward at this time. This was a request from council, so we'll get that information from Desert Live, as that is part of our new asks. So we have Brianne Hurl and Rich Cooper doing this presentation. Thank you.
So basically we're here just to give you guys an update on some of the things that have been going on. We have revised a few things, just the scope, one being the revised dates. We've discussed changing the dates now to June 27th to July 1st. Now the reasoning behind that is that we want our first year to go off quite well. We want to have a lot of people there so we can drive it for the years coming. We're really hoping this is going to be something that's going to be going on for years and years. You know, we're thinking long term, so we definitely want the first year to have a really big attendance and obviously work quite well for promoting it for next years and years and years. And so that's why we've chosen the dates. We've shortened it so we can get a better production, shorter period of time, and with the most splash that we can. We're in the midst, obviously, because of that, of revising our budget, because now we're looking at a shorter dates. And, you know, most of the things are still going to be costing about the same amount, because stages, production, things like that, it still costs the same amount. But you generally get a little bit of a better deal if you go longer, but we're shortening ours up. So in the light of the reduced duration of the festival, we're reducing kind of our ask from the town from about 50,000 originally to 40. Obviously, we've already been offered 15, so which we've taken. So we're trying to get a bit more just so we can promote it a little bit better. We've explored sponsored acts and stakeholder venues. That's looking great already. A lot of our stakeholders are happy to be doing something on their own, being Watermark, Spirit Ridge, Walnut Beach, as well as some of the smaller areas. We have letters of support, obviously, from the town of Osoyoos. Thank you guys very much. From the Osoyoos Festival Society, Osoyoos Indian Band, South Okanagan Chamber of Commerce. We've also included Jason Beta of the local RCMP, who attended our last meeting. We discussed the layout and logistics of the actual festival, and he'll be attending most future meetings from this point on, because we really want him on board and the RCMP to be all, you know, on the same page as us. Members of the Osoyoos Arts Council had attended our last meeting, and they came up with a great idea of discussing the potential of incorporating an art walk into the festival, which obviously we're calling it Desert Live. We want as much live things going on, so we figure art is a great thing to add to a festival, so we're very happy about that. I've talked to Jamie from Unity and me being from Heatstroke Cycle, and we've discussed and are planning on doing a BMX and skateboard competition during the festival as well, give kids something more to do. So we're trying to add more things to the festival. And one of the big things now is that we're exploring a few options for our production management. And that's going to be a big thing for us to have someone there on site taking care of things. We do have some options, being Henry Small, who's come and been at a few meetings, as well as Terry Baptiste from the Osoyoos Indian Band, and Karina and Jason from Global Productions also want to be involved. So we have kind of a wide web, and we're just trying to, you know, narrow things down. Anything you want to add to that in a moment?
Yeah, that we've We've also created subcommittees now, so now that things are really gearing up and we're nearing closer to the date, we've had to split off into smaller subcommittees and give everybody sort of their own tasks to do. So we've got an entertainment and booking committee, which is Richard Cooper, Janice St. Louis, Shirley Baker, Steve Saron, and Rob Roush. We've got a logistics subcommittee, which is inclusive of beer garden and vendors, and that's Jim King, Nancy Katarenchak, Shirley Baker, and Stacy Little. The grants committee is Stacy Little and Jim King. The marketing is Mike Campbell and myself. The stakeholders and local sponsors is Richard Cooper and Shirley Baker. And the corporate sponsors are myself, Steve Saron, and Mike Campbell. Yeah.
So that's pretty much where we're at the moment with Desert Live. With changing the dates, obviously we've changed a bit of the structure, so we're trying to do a little bit more, better, basically a better, better everything in a shorter period of time. Pack everything in, leave everyone with a really good taste, and want to come back for next year. That's why I think being July 1st is our finale. I mean, always people are here on July 1st. It always is a great, thing happening, and it is on a Tuesday, so we're hoping, we'll get people to stay, have a really great final day of our festival, and, want to come back to OCS like they all should, because it is the best place to do an event like this.
Okay, thanks a lot, Mr. Cooper. And I guess for the people that are picking this up on Grana, because Desert Live is the new production for the town, being done by volunteers that are interested in this. And this will kick off. What's the date, please?
June 27th,
which is
the Friday.
Friday. So we're Friday, June the 27th, 28th, 29th. 30th.
And first.
And first, obviously the first, yes, with the fireworks display. So this is going to be many acts of music specialists from around the interior of BC and other places. So this will be a concert. It'll take place in Gyro Park. There'll be music on Main Street. There'll be music by some of the people that are interested and want to have their own music and their own business. So we're really, this is the launch of what we're hoping to make actually a 10-day festival down the road. So it would be surrounding July 1st with some before and some after. And of course the intent is to bring people to Osoyoos and put some heads in beds and generate some economic activity for the town.
Yes,
Definitely.
absolutely, yeah.
I mean, eventually it's going to be I believe it's going to be a huge economic driver for OCS around that time. I mean, everyone wants to come down for July 1st, but this just gives them an extra reason to stay and, really enjoy everything OCS has to offer. I think it's going to be a great event, and we appreciate all the support that we've gotten so far.
Thank you, and you certainly have council's best wishes. I'll just make sure that there aren't any questions out there. Councillor McCordock, please.
Yes, thank you. Unfortunately, I just heard today that the Art Walk has been postponed for a year.
Oh.
Now, so that they were going to do that in the stores. They've just decided they can't get it organized this year. But I talked to the lady today, she just phoned me, and I did say that perhaps we could get some of the artists to do not an art walk, but to perhaps come down to Gyro Beach, be part of something on those days. And we'll continue to work on that.
Okay.
I actually looked into maybe doing some sort of chalk art. There's very successful chalk festivals that are actually all over North America, one of them being in Victoria, and just spectacular displays. I think it would work really well down at Gyro because there are areas that are paved that they could do, and they do all sorts of things with perspectives. It's really neat, and it's very easy to clean up too after.
Good.
So.
Great. Any other questions from council? Okay, well, we'll always keep looking at the budget and the requests and the asks that I'm sure will be coming through, and we certainly wish this event the very, very best, and we're happy that we're a partner in it. So thanks a lot for coming forward.
Thank you.
Next up would be, we have a registered individual wishing to speak and ask some questions. And of course, that would be Mr. Mercelli. Come on up, Si. And I'm sure you know the routine of name and address, please.
Si Mercelli, Council Watchdog, 8301 Queens Lane.
Thank you.
Greetings, Mr. Mayor and councillors, ladies and gentlemen. I am here tonight for three purposes. I have some concerns, I have some complaints, and I have some ideas.
Okay.
First, about complaints, we are wasting too much money, and second thing, we are giving too many, when I say too much money wasting, to consultants, engineers, and others out of town. As I went through budget portfolio 2014, for the record, Mr. Mayor and councillors, pages 87, 90, 91, 93, 94, 95, 98, 102, 167, 169, 172, 174, 182, 184, 202, 204, 206, and 210. Total for capital cost. One, this is only for contingencies and engineering. This amount of $1,415,694. So these are for engineering and contingencies, about 30%. Total. That's why I said it's about time, Mr. Mayor and councillors. We had all these past years. It's time everyone should wake up. Get the civil engineering payroll, please. And I will never back down on that, because in the long run, we are better off and we are saving money. These are the ideas, because usually we are not creating jobs here, out of town. That cash goes out. I'm talking this, Mr. Mayor and councillors, without prejudice. Nothing to do with the personalities, nor I am not questioning anybody's eligibility as a, what you call, expert, like engineering. I can say, Mr. Terry, True Consulting here, I am complaining, and I will stand my ground about saving taxpayers' money. Second, it's a fire hole. Mr. Mayor, page 76, it says about 10,000 general fund. Now, on that, it says communication plan to the fire hole referendum. I have the idea to save money, Mr. Mayor and councillors. According to the budget information, it's going to cost us $26,000. And just tonight, I received from Ms. Van Vianen package, which Mr. Zackel read it to us. It says $18,000. Now, for the record, Mr. Mayor, we should have a referenda and local election in October to save money. 2011, we only cost us $8,107. Of course, there was nothing referendum. It was only election advertising, election wages, election supplies. Now we have a $10,000 election supplies. What a difference from $2,738.19. Referendum cost $9,000. Election advertising $2,500. Election wages $4,200. So we are saving money. And to be fair, Mr. Mayor, in the summer, according to the budget and documents, it's going to be in June. Most of people are away because tourists are coming, locals are leaving. November snowbirds, only few of them are leaving, late November. So this year, we are going to have October elections earlier, according to the charter. So we should save money, and this way, Mr. Mayor and councillors, give a chance for full participation. For the record, museum, 1,100 people were there. 600 for it, 458 against. So less than half. So that's why let's be more democratic, and because Mr. Mayor is going to cost us a lot of money. That approximately 5.6 million, I don't buy it. I don't buy it because we have to have an exact financial till the last penny. And most important, ask for taxpayers' approval. As you know, Mr. Mayor, this year I didn't have to spend 52 minutes like last year. It will not do any difference, even if I spend 52 days without prejudice. Council and management made up my mind in advance. This is only done deal. Referendum and other stuff is going to be on the what's called there is a word with a P starts. No, that's actually it was determined in the front ahead of time, so that's why. But anyway, Mr. Mayor, if you have any questions, all these numbers are here. Mm-hmm. This comes from town books, not my idea. Mm-hmm. And on Friday, when I gave a letter, just to make sure that I have a right to be there tonight, to defend and protect 800 plus who voted last year, and others who are supporting me to bring the race. Question. And thanks for this opportunity, and good luck.
Great. Thanks, Mr. Marcelli. I'll just ask if there's any direct questions while you're at the microphone, because we are, we're being recorded. We're on Granicus tonight. So, Mr. Zackel, please, comments?
Thank you. Mr. Marcelli, you said there was a discrepancy on the fire hall communication plan from the $10,000. You had referenced $18,000. Can you explain where you found that number? Because I cannot find that in my reporting, and I just want to...
Mr. Mayor, through you to Mr. Zackel.
Certainly.
Project cost $10,000, general fund. Now, we are talking about referendum. That $26,000, it says on the page 18 of GL 54110. I took from that, excuse me. Last election 2011, GL 5410, page 5, that's where I came for $8,000. Now for this year, again on GL 5410, page 5, it says 26,000 elections. And then on page 18,
Mr.
of the
Maselli,
budget, yep.
Mr. Maselli, you had an error that you wanted to bring to me, and it was with respect to the fire hall communication plan.
Yep.
You're going all over the map.
No, Mr. Mayor, I hope, let's not, what's called, how to say, change the words. What I'm saying, what I said was, I talked about referendum. That $10,000, it's for somebody to sell to taxpayer of this town idea how good and great and so on. That is 10,000. I'm talking about referendum, which will cost us 26,000. That's why we should have two birds with one shot.
Okay.
So the elections and the referendum at the same time.
Right, and I can follow what you were talking about, Mr. Maselli, and I guess one of the responses is no matter when we have it, somebody's not going to be here, and actually the provincial government is not moving the date of the election, so we will be on the
October.
We'll be on the third Saturday of November, which we've always had, and while the UBCM and the municipalities wanted it move forward into October, the provincial government did not buy into that. So the only ones they're looking at, 2 items is all they brought forward from that workshop and from the municipality input. One of them was campaign funding, and the other one was 2 items that they brought forward, but they did not move the date forward, Mr. Maselli. So we're still into November, and snowbirds are going away, and again, there is no perfect date to have it, to have that referendum, and we have a time frame here of trying to move this forward with funding, and I guess that's the reason why.
Still over 2,000 people will decide on November elections.
We would love to have,
Yeah.
I would love to have
We should have
mandatory.
it. We
Mr.
should have
Maselli, mandatory elections would be wonderful, as they have in Australia. You don't vote, you get fined. Unfortunately, we don't have that ability.
No, but usually I'm going with the statistics from the previous elections. Over 2,000 always is. And Mr. Mayor, as we are talking about elections, should be manual counting, not to machine voting.
Well,
And second thing, town officials should not get involved, should be outsiders who is doing both election, referendum and local elections.
okay. Thank you for that input, Mr. Maselli.
Yep.
Any further questions of Mr. Maselli while he's at the microphone? Anything further? Thank you, Mr. Maselli. Any other public input into the 5-year plan? Any other public input into the 5-year plan? Third time, any other public input? I will turn this over to council for their deliberations, input, resolution. And if we're going to go ahead, if you had anything that you want to question further from the public, then we could not do second and third, but the recommendation would give this second and third reading for tonight, and I believe that would lead to final approval on March the 3rd. I don't have a calendar with me. Okay, Monday, March the 3rd would be the 5-year plan approval. What are council's wishes, please? Councillor McCordoff.
I would like to move option 1 for council to give second and third reading of the 5-year financial plan 1304, 2014.
Thank you. And Councillor Rhodes as the seconder. Input, please. Speaking to the motion.
Thank you. I think that Mr. Zackel has done an excellent job of putting together all of the options. Council and the directors spent a great deal of time going over every item on the agenda. And I think that we had a good chance to talk all of these things through, and I believe that we feel that this was absolutely the best that we could come up with, so I support it fully.
Thank you. Councillor Ryan, please.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Mayor. I think it's important to point out that Council has looked at some of the things that were raised this evening. Certainly, the whole question of an in-house engineering has something that we looked at on several occasions, and we just find that at the present time it's just not feasible for us to try to put together an engineering office for the town. The whole question of using outside consultants to do things, I think that we've found that when we have a good plan that has been done by people who are dedicated to doing that kind of examination and recommendations, when it's vetted by council and by the public, that we have a good roadmap to go by. And many of the things that we've done have been done after there has been a study by professionals whose dedication and full time is directed to those kinds of things. So even though it looks like there are considerable expenses directed to these, I think it's money well spent, and I think that it enables us to then, when we put the money into implementing, that we know we have the confidence that we've made good decisions.
Thanks, Councillor Ryan. And of course, as we know, operating a town, we probably only see about 35% of what goes into that operation. Most of the things that make a town and that we rely on are underground, and we don't see them. And when you look at some of the pumping stations and some of the lift stations that we use to move effluent from the Legion Beach area up to the lagoons at the golf course, and it's a pretty neat system that we have, and one that's still being studied by communities around British Columbia and Western North America. These things cost money, and I'm real happy to say that we're on top of it. And through this process, there are some new sidewalks, there are some new street lights, there are some progresses being made. I really believe that if you're not moving forward, there's a good possibility that you're moving backward. And I think that this is a sound budget that's moving Osoyoos forward, as it always has. Osoyoos has always moved. It's one of the most progressive communities in the South Okanagan and in the Okanagan Valley. And you have a look at the other communities and have a look at this town of Osoyoos. And I think people can be proud of this budget, and you did a fine job in delivery, Mr. Zackel. Anything further? Any further input? We're at second and third reading, Ms. Van Vienen. All in favor? Opposed? Second and third reading was passed tonight. We will be heading for adoption on March the 3rd. And I'll take the motion to adjourn. Councillor Plant Ryan, all in favor? Meeting is adjourned. Thanks for, I know you didn't come out tonight other than Mr. Marcelli, but it's wonderful that we have this on Granicus and that this is being web streamed, so you didn't have to come out tonight. And I also really want to restate how council works hard and brought out the directors so that we have this transparency and bringing the budget forward. Thank you and good evening.